The Ad Hoc Committee in Parliament that's been set up to investigate allegations of corruption as well as interference in the criminal justice system will resume its work this week. It will later, in fact, this week hear evidence from Vusimuzi Cat Matlala, the alleged criminal. He's going to be testifying from the Kgosi Mampuru Correctional Facility because he's currently under arrest on criminal charges. For more on this, let's speak to the Chairperson of the Ad Hoc Committee, Molapi, Lekganyane. Good to have you on the program. So I know you are going into a meeting in the next, let's say, 25 minutes or so with the other members of the committee, but speak to us about the level of preparation that you've now had to do, especially with Cat Matlala, whose circumstances are unique in that he's currently incarcerated.
Good evening to you and your viewers. And let me take this opportunity and wish you a happy and Merry Christmas in advance.
We receive, thank you.
Yes, we are here in Gauteng for our proceedings this week, where we will be taking a few witnesses starting from tomorrow, and amongst those witnesses is Mr. Vusimuzi Cat Matlala. Our legal team has concluded consultations with the witness. And it's all systems go. Our team has also gone to the premises from the past weeks to make an assessment of the availability of facilities that we will be using for our proceedings, and they are satisfied that everything is up to standard.
Mr. Lekganyane, let me ask you to just, if you could speak closer to your device, because we're starting to lose you. Don't worry about the picture. We'll make a plan around that. I'm just concerned that we'll be able to hear you in the best way possible. And speaking of hearing you in the best way possible, would I be correct in saying that ultimately dealing with Cat Matlala's evidence this week is going to be perhaps the most challenging session that you've run at a basic level, just based on the logistics?
Yeah, look, you would know that we have to conduct our proceedings outside the parliamentary premises, but we want to take this opportunity and thank the authorities of correctional services for the cooperation that we received on their part. They have made their facilities available, which we will be using tomorrow until Thursday or Friday. Mm-hmm. So we will be treating the situation like any other situation that has that we have had to deal with previously. Mr. Matlala is like any other South African, any other witness who would have appeared before the committee. And for now, let me say that let's accept the situation within which he finds himself and agree that he will get the same treatment that we have given to the rest of the witnesses. And we also anticipate that we will get a good cooperation from him.
How much of a willing participant is he in the process?
We haven't encountered any difficulties. The fact that we are at this stage means that everything has progressed very well. Remember, it starts with our legal team and himself scheduling consultations. Consultations have happened. Statements have been exchanged between the parties until he is satisfied that the final statement that is made available for the committee is a statement that contains the evidence that he would have deposed with our legal team. So far, we are pleased with the progress that the legal team and Mr. Matlala himself have made for us to arrive at the point where we are now.
And to be clear, for those of us not too familiar with the process, the statement that he's already deposed, that he'll be taken through by the evidence leader, are you only as members of the committee able or privy to its contents on the day of his appearance, or do you have sight of that already?
Look, our terms of reference state that the statement should be made available at least 3 or 4 days before the hearing. But due to other logistics, you might have noticed that it has been a very hectic period for us and our legal team. We only have a legal team comprised of 2 advocates and 1 SC. So sometimes it has not been possible to receive those statements within the stipulated time in our terms of reference. But we are reasonable human beings and we understand that we have to live with what we have.
Where Matlala is concerned then, have you seen the statement, and would I be pushing it and asking you to give us a sense of what you expect him to say when he appears from Wednesday?
I will not be tempted to do that. I must respect him. I must respect our processes. Yeah, there must not be any excitement on my part. We have done our work very, very well, very discreetly. And I think up to this stage, we must keep that standard and dignify every witness that is appearing before the committee.
How well, though, overall, do you think, and we respect that position, how well do you think the committee has done in its time now in helping us get a better sense of what is alleged to have gone on in terms of the abuse of power, interference and corruption in the criminal justice system, pardon me?
So far, I think my greatest belief is that as South Africans, you have been following us, you made your own observations, and you are at a point where even though your opinion may be incomplete, you can be in a position to give an opinion about the work that the committee has done and what has been unraveled and what could be the likely conclusions. Because I'm trying to stay away from that. The committee still has to, at the end of the process, give itself time to consider its report before it presents it to Parliament. And so I must not be in any way be here trying to pan for a particular view that the committee must ultimately adopt.
And the committee, just lastly, the committee had wanted...
have made their own observations.
Right, and the committee had asked Parliament for an extension of its term because you were simply not going to be able to do the sort of work that you've been set up to do at the very best level under the previous deadline. Now that we are here, do you expect that you will be able to finish on time?
Look, we were supposed to have started our work in August and end on the 31st of October. We started on the 7th of October, and now it's just some few days before the end of November. We have requested extension. We have had very good and fruitful discussions with the authorities of Parliament, and we are hopeful that that extension will be granted, and that should be the last extension to the committee. Once the Speaker announces that we have given you until this date, members of the public will also know and expect the committee to finish its work at that deadline.
Mr. Soviet Molapi Lekganyane, good to talk to you, Ad Hoc Committee Chair for the committee that has been tasked, in fact, with investigating those allegations of corruption as well as abuse of power and interference in the criminal justice system. Tomorrow they start with one of the Deputy Police Commissioners, Tebello Mosikidi, and then on Wednesday, some might believe that this is the big one for the week, Vusimuzi Cat Matlala, the suspected criminal, will then respond to whether indeed he has been waging influence over people like Brown Mokgotsi and the now suspended Police Minister Senzo Mchunu. Catch it all live here on SABC News from tomorrow morning with Tebello Mosikidi and wall-to-wall coverage of Vusimuzi Cat Matlala's appearance from prison custody, really, on Wednesday.